Welcome. Did I do that right? Yeah, did I say that right?
Welcome.
We're excited to have you listening to us, tuning in
Again.
to us. Actually, some people are physically seeing our expressions, our mannerisms. We're just honored to be sitting in front of you today, discussing something that's major, that's important, that really influences all aspects of family.
Yes. I can't believe we made it to episode 10.
Yeah,
that's exciting. I felt like this time is just kind of like flying by.
Yeah. If you want to go back and listen to all episodes,
yes, they're available.
Even get an opportunity to watch us.
All major platforms.
Yep.
I mean, you're here, you're listening already, so you just make sure you share.
Yep. Yeah, that's probably the
But
big
we
thing.
Introduce ourselves.
Oh yeah, that's right. See, this is what happens when I'm in authority. Like I forget
authority.
Because technically, if you look back on some of these episodes, it was always, hey, this is Selikka, and I'm your podcast host. And, you forget about
this
me.
This is my sidekick, Mike. Like Sonic and Tails. He's like
wow.
Tails. I'm your host. I'm Selikka Wood.
And I'm one of your hosts. I'm Mike Rodgers.
Yes. We are happy. All jokes aside, we are happy that you are tuning in with us. We got a great episode, great conversation lined up.
What do we do?
Getting to know you.
Not before we getting to know you, getting to know us. We got to talk about our purpose for creating this podcast.
You got it.
I got it?
Yeah, you got it.
All right. Providing hope, encouragement, and practical tips as we navigate our family's journey.
Yes.
And I want to reiterate that family is a journey.
Yeah.
Interacting with your partners, with your children, with your parents, grandparents. It's a journey, but it's an honor to be able to create relationships on an intimate level.
Yeah, be the village group chat. That's what we all about.
That's right. That's right. All right. Every episode, we have a moment or opportunity to getting to know you or getting to know us. We definitely want you guys to reach out to us and connect and answer some of these questions, but here's the topic for today. What makes you the most proud when you think about your family? Man,
I'm very proud of the family that I've created. I reflect on it often because it's just, I'm proud of it. Yeah. But one of the things I guess that I'm most proud of is just how close we are. Like naturally, like we really do enjoy being with one another. I feel like my husband and I have really been intentional about just like cultivating that kind of like vibe in our house, and it makes me happy that even at 19, my Sage, she still like enjoys like hanging out. Like she has her own friends. She's in college. She does, she has a boyfriend. So she like whoa.
You just try to slide that in now. No, hold on, what?
She been had a boyfriend.
When was I supposed to find this out?
I mean, I don't know. That shows how much you've been pastoring her, I guess. I mean, you just relinquish the duties after a while. But I mean, she has her own life, but it makes me happy that she's like a young adult, and she still like enjoys going out to dinner with us or vacation, or we do family dates. Like it's never like y'all could just go ahead, I'm good. I think that I feel like that's a result of what we've just kind of like cultivated over the years.
Yeah. Do you feel like she appreciated her upbringing, especially being exposed to different individuals in college who wasn't afforded the opportunities that she had?
Yeah. I think she definitely appreciates it. She lets me know often, and she will say how like sometimes when she looks, she encounters different people and how they grew up, and she'll just be like, I'm just so thankful that I didn't have that experience. But I was a young mom, and she was able to see me sacrifice a lot. Like the mom that my younger kids have now is not the same. I mean, I am the same mom, but she knew me in a different phase of my life. So I think she appreciates it more because she know that nothing wasn't just handed to me. Like I worked and I sacrificed, and I literally try my best. That's all I can do. I try my best.
Yeah. Man.
How about you? What are you most proud of about the family that you've created?
How there are opportunities for our children to be transparent, to be open, And I also appreciate those moments when we're around the dinner table, just engaging in conversation. That, I mean, again, that was something that I was exposed to growing up, but just seeing the joy in their faces, and we play around a lot.
No surprise there.
I mean, I have every once in a while I may say a few jokes.
You are goofy. You're goofy.
I would not use the term goofy.
Yes, you're an instigator.
No.
What other words can I use to describe you?
Yeah, but I really just appreciate those moments. And there's something that we typically do. What's the best part about your day? What's something that you could change if you could? And just being able to sit at the table. Now, there are some moments when we're not able to do that, but I just having that foundation of my children's parents being present and involved is important. And then we're at the end of each night, if unless I have something that I need to do, or unless my wife has something that she needs to do, we're tucking them in. And I'm my son, he'll be almost 10 this year. I'm only waiting for him to say, man, I don't need you in the room. Man,
that's why you got to take advantage of it, because you never know when it's going to be the last time you tuck them in. And not meaning something's going to happen to you. I'm talking about the fact of, like, there will come a time where you will no longer need to tuck them in. So you take advantage of those times, because that could be the last time. You never know.
That's real. That's real. And then, and I felt like when that was coming from you, I felt like you weren't just talking to me. I felt like you talking to our listeners too, man.
And
really
myself.
Maximize these moments.
Seriously.
It flies by.
And you never realize it. You never realize how many things you take for granted in your parenthood journey, that everything there's going to be a last time for every single phase of your kid's life. There's going to be, we had the last time we bottle fed them, or the last time we had to carry them because now they're walking. Or you think about those times you didn't know that was going to be the last time, but that's just like the natural progression of life. So value it,
Shoot, at some point they're going to be carrying me.
Hey,
let's just be real, you know.
But
no, just really being able to cherish these moments. I think that's something that's important. And I would love for our listeners just to reach back out and just talk about
what are you most proud of?
What
are you most proud of for the family, about the family that you've created? I think we both are doing a very good job of just raising good families. Not perfect families, but good ones. I'm proud.
Intentionality is really a key. You got to be intentional about it.
All right, so the name of this episode is Maybe It Starts With You. Maybe it starts with you.
I see what you did. Because you were the one who actually scripted this episode out. So you had the getting to know you kind of like tie into
exactly
the topic.
Yes. So maybe it starts with you. And essentially we're talking about generational curses and like what that means, what it looks like, how it can those things show up in your families. So a generational curse is defined as a habit or behavior that has been passed down from one generation to the next. And I wanted to know, especially as a pastor, what are your thoughts on generational curses overall, and is it like biblical?
Now, there definitely are times or moments where you'll see in the Bible where, lack of a better, sins of the father carry down to the children. And I'm thinking about one person in particular. You see David and the impact that some of the decisions that he made had on his children, and how it got down to a point where he actually was battling against one of his sons, and so because of a decision that he made, and so there are certain spiritual side and spiritual elements to it, but and not to brush those things off, but looking at it from more of a practical standpoint, that's where I like to focus a lot of my energy on. Like, what are some habits that are hampering my children from developing in certain areas? What are some behaviors that's creating tension between my wife and I? What are some thoughts that are that I'm wrestling with, that's not allowing me to have necessary conversations with my children. And again, I do believe there's a spiritual element to it, but coming from more of a practical side is how I like to approach it.
Yeah. Some of the generational curses we hear often are like, of course, poverty, abuse, what else? Pornography, drinking, smoking or drugs or some type of, I'll say addiction.
Yeah.
Addiction to things. That's something that we'll see, we hear talked about often with generational curses. Is there anything, like, respectfully, of course, anything that you maybe experienced as a child that you are just so intentional to make sure that your children never experience that?
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say it was something that I experienced, but I understood as I was able to get older, I understood something that my dad was, kind of had my dad for a period of time, but I thank God that he was able to overcome it. And that wasn't my experience growing up with him, but it was something that I saw had really held a lot of black men down, and that's alcoholism. I mean, it is not to say I never drunk or, from here, sipped from here or there. But that is something that is really just a vice to so many different individuals. And so understanding not just my dad, but a lot of individuals in my family, uncles and cousins that fall victim to that, I tried my best to ensure that that's not something I'm even going to play around with. I want to make sure that I'm at my best through, again, just the level of competition, competitiveness that I have. I'm at my best in all areas, in all avenues. So that was something that I did my best to avoid, because I did not want to fall victim to that.
Yeah. I think for me, there's something I just never want my kid. I'm very serious about just kind of what they're exposed to.
Yeah.
That's something I felt like as a kid I was exposed to. It was no discretion, exhibited. That's what I'm saying. Like, not that it was like just, kind of how we put parameters around like things we allow our kids to like listen to or watch, and you can't protect them from everything. Like, you're not acting like it doesn't exist. But I was talking to my husband last night, and I was like, I shared with him what you said about the few episodes ago when you were saying how your dad would go and watch the movie before you guys and bleep out any curse words or anything inappropriate or whatever, but still be able to allow y'all to watch it. And I was like, I'm always so just surprised. I'm always kind of reminded of how much you and I grew up differently, because I literally was watching Purple Rain at 6.
Wow.
Like, it was nothing for me to watch Coming to America, Purple Rain, anything with sex scenes in it. Nobody was trying to hurry up and turn the channel, or, like, it just wasn't it wasn't a thing. And so I'm very and just intentional to make sure that my kids just aren't exposed to things before their time. And so I feel like I'm breaking a generational curse in that way. Like, you always joke like, you I know you be cussing, Selikka, or you don't. Like, I don't, but I grew up like my grandmother. I loved her. She's passed away now, but I loved her to death. But she cursed like a sailor. Like, it was, she would cuss you out. She loved us. She showed us like an abundance of love. But it was just kind of like, I don't curse at my children. I don't curse at other people. I'm just like aware of it, and I intentionally don't do it because I don't want my kid. But because she raised me, because I was raised around someone who cursed like that, I was like in the 3rd grade, like cussing. I used to use words because it was normal. Yeah. So I feel like making these like little adjustments are changing generations. Like, I'm breaking quote unquote a curse or habit.
Yeah, it's interesting because both of us made adjustments or changes. Me with alcohol, and you with
it's like lifestyle.
Your cursing. I mean, that's evident, and I believe everything rises and falls on leadership at the end of the day. So as a parent, how are you leading your household? Yeah. How are you actively intentionally creating an environment where your children feel comfortable, where they feel open with talking to you? How are you assessing your areas of growth? The areas that you do this well too, because when there's something positive, a certain area of your life that's positive, you will celebrate that.
Yes,
thing.
Yeah. I will find a way to celebrate. We are that family that we celebrate everything, and it doesn't have to be this big elaborate thing, but we do celebrate everything. I don't want to take nothing for granted.
That's real. That's real, and I believe that's important, man. Mm-hmm. That's helpful. Talking about my family, I always grew up where they acknowledged certain skill sets that we had, but they didn't want us to become prideful.
Right.
So it could have been a little more to the other extreme where they weren't celebrating certain things, but that's kind of how I function today. Still want to be able to recognize and celebrate, but not becoming too prideful. Pride comes before the fall. That's something that I always used to hear growing up.
So. I don't think you want to, nobody, I definitely don't think we should be prideful, but it's just also just celebrating the way God made us. Like he's gifted us with so many different things and just talents and I don't know, feelings and just so many. He's just gifted us each in such a unique way. It's like it's cool to celebrate that. And your accomplishments of like overcoming. Like I look back at my family sometimes and I'm just like again, we're not perfect at all, but my children's experience is so much different from even my husband's experience as a child. He grew up in his mom raised him. He's the only child, but the experiences that he had together, he and I have created such a different life for our kids, and it makes me so proud. I'm just thankful because I feel like it's a form of breaking a generational curse. And I don't want to say curses like when you think about that, you just think all bad, but just something different. Like you breaking a cycle of something, and I'm thankful to have been able to be a contributor to that. You
kind of touched on this with your last statement. Do you see a huge difference between generational curses or poor generational choices?
Oh yeah, I think it's a difference between that, and we will be quick to say something is a generational curse, but sometimes we just make bad decisions, and it could be the same bad decision that our mother made and that her mother made, but we have a choice in the matter in some situations. I do think things like addiction, it's something you shouldn't get involved in anything that that the people before you have been addicted to. But I don't think that that's necessarily just kind of like bloodline. I feel like you have people who have never been addicted ever in your family, and you become the one addicted. You know what I'm saying? But it's from a decision that you made, a poor decision that you might have made to kind of like dibble and dabble in things you didn't have no business. But it's a decision, and I'm not trying to be judgmental, but I do think that there are certain things that can be avoided. Everything isn't generational.
No, I definitely understand what you're saying, and again, my personality, I just don't want to risk that. That is, man, because we take risk every day, from just getting up to bed and the lights be off and just walking around potentially stubbing your toe, just something of that nature. I just don't want to risk
it. It's just some things are our our responsibility. Again, I think that there are things that are just generational curses, but there also are things that we just keep repeating the same mistake over generation to generation to generation. And it's all a decision. It comes down to your decision. It also shows the influence that we have on our children, and that your parents have on you and your uncles and your cousins, the community that you're surrounding yourself with. The influence that they play on children, because they can't always articulate what it is that they're seeing in manner or ways that we can as adults. But I believe it's important for all of us just to be paying attention to our actions, our attitudes and things. And because habits, they'll become, you pick up a habit that you don't even realize that is, like I told you, my grandmother raised me with every single meal growing up. I would eat applesauce was always on the side. I mean, but literally every meal I had would have applesauce on the side. I grew up. My grandmother had long gone passed away. I had moved I had my own apartment.
Yeah.
I still would go when I went grocery shopping. I bought applesauce and I ate applesauce well into my I would probably say till I was about maybe 25 years old. But not only was I doing that, Sage grew up. She will tell you.
Wow.
I started giving her applesauce on the side of her food. She don't do it no more because I stopped doing it.
Yeah.
I no longer eat it on the side, and so now she no longer eats it on the side.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, that's a practical way to show just kind of like how habits follow. And she never met my grandmother a day in her life.
Wow.
How about that? And that's something, a habit.
Your grandmother's habit is still living through you.
Yep. And then I passed it on to her, and now that I stopped, she stopped.
Wow, that's so good. Just even that example is something as simple as applesauce to show the impacts for generation to come. And I'm huge on just the role and responsibility a parent has when it comes to not just development, but I want my kids to be good with their finances.
Yeah. I know you're serious about that.
And if I guess in closing. A motivation that I want to share with you guys, something that my wife and I are very serious about is just making sure our children don't fall victim to this experience of not being good with their money, understanding the stock market, understanding budgeting. And there are simple things that we're doing with them at an early age, like having these envelopes where save, spend, give. And so when we give our children money, and it ain't just giving them, they're earning it when they do their jobs or their chores. However much money we've given them, you take 10% of that and put it inside of savings, take 10% of that, put it inside of giving, and then you can take the rest of it and put it inside of spend. So just building like little habits at an early age is something that is helpful, and I believe all people need to experience, all children need to experience.
Yeah, and they'll hopefully teach their kids to be the same way, and then you'll be like the Buffetts, the Rodgers.
Hey,
you'll be a rich family with a rich bloodline, a wealthy bloodline. My encouragement would be for families, especially ones that are feeling maybe discouraged about the generational curses that their families are experiencing, is to know that, like, just like the title of this episode, maybe it does start with you. Maybe you are the change, be the change that you want to see. So I would say get clear about what it is, like dream, sit down and really think about what you want your family to be like. What do you want your family to look like? What do you want your legacy to be? When people think about the Wood family, once I'm long gone, what do I want the Wood family to look like? And then after you get clear on that, take the practical, intentional steps to make that a reality. Like, I can't say it enough. Be intentional. I can't stress it enough. Just to it's not as out of reach as you get to have a say in how your story, like what your story looks like, how it's written, and don't let anybody take that power away from you.
And I may have said this before in the podcast, but a pastor that I know, and he's very well respected. When it comes to approaching changes that we need to make in our lifetime, sometimes we can get overwhelmed by looking at the entire thing. And so he said, using this example, like, how do you eat a whole cow? Just one bite at a time, taking one small step at a time, being intentional about taking that step. And then before you know it, you've been able to accomplish that goal.
Maybe it starts with you. Maybe some things have started with me.
Starts with us.
It
starts with us.
Yeah, it really does. We all have a say so, and I just don't want people to feel defeated. Just because things have been this way doesn't mean they have to stay this way. Whatever that this is for you. Yeah. That's real. Yeah, take your power back. So this was a good episode. I wasn't sure how.
I'm so glad I scripted this stuff out.
You did nothing.
I'm so glad. Literally, I put all this together. All of the questions that we had at the beginning. I'm proud of myself.
You have a way of being so annoying. that I can't even describe it.
Y'all see what I have to do with?
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you want to connect with us, you can email us. Give us some topic suggestions. Oh, that was hard to get out. Suggestions.
Take your time. Ease up.
This feedback overall, you can email us at villagegroupchat@gmail.com, or you can hit us up on IG at The Village Group Chat. I'm on IG, no_ordinary_mom. And Mike, how can they find you?
Mike J. Rodgers 1. Mine is simpler than no underscore.
He has a profile picture, the nice shiny bald head. That'll be him.
You see what I got to do? You see what I got?
Yeah.
Let's pick it up at next episode.
Thank you for listening, and we will talk to you guys next week.
Have a good one.
Bye.